96 to 2003.
That's the third strike. How much time did they issue?
24 to life.
And they don't give you no good time, good behavior. And
Do 85% of whatever they gave.
I feel like my life on the line. Jungle in these streets, speak your piece on the line. Hustle to increase, put it all on the line. House, big spouse, family, freedom, walking yards on the line. Every day I wait for like my life on the line. Jungle in these streets, speak your piece on the line.
Welcome back to another episode of On the Line. I am Junior, a.k.a. Mr. Getting It Done, a.k.a. Always Into Something. This is my partner, my homeboy from the LBC. Let him know who you are again.
I'm Mr. JJ Fumby.
And we are back letting y'all know that after all the commotion, the rioting, the looting, the protesting, what is next for our community? And when I mean our community, I mean a community that's suffering behind what's going on. So what's next? What do you think is next for us, man?
Redevelopment. You got the structures. You got to change the laws and fire some folks. And,
Oh, heads are going to roll, most definitely.
yeah, you're going to do a lot of work. This ain't going to be a quick fix. It's going to be a, step 1 to step 27, but it's a process and it need to be done. And sad that a lot of brothers had to lose their lives and some sisters had to lose their life to get to this point. But it was war, war. Mm-hmm. They waged war on us. So when I say us, you know what I mean by us, black folks, black males.
Well, see, last week, I lead the show. Me and my relative will lead the show. We back pushing, boom, 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 boom. So we on the freeway. We downtown L.A. So now they got the protesting going on. So they got some of the exits and on-ramps blocked off. So we take a detour. We like, oh, shit. Look at all those people over there. They protesting. So we like, you know what? Fuck it. We park, boom, we get out, walk by the police station, everybody acting a fool, protesting, but they not fighting each other. They just angry and voiceful. So we do it. We march and we talking to people, you know what I'm saying? And we seeing the police, they standing their ground, the protesters standing their ground. And after everything was over, we get back in the car and we pushing back to where we going. We talking. I said, damn, man, I never done this in my life. With the 92 riots, I was acting a fool back then, but that's, and I don't believe anybody in our family has ever done that with the Watts riots because we from California, so they was around that time. But we was just thinking how difficult it was for them to do that back then. Because now, you have people out there with first aid kits giving us water. Everybody is cool. The police is kind of doing their thing, but they on watch. But when you look how they did it, our past ancestors, they were up against some fucking shit, man. Dogs, water holes, and they was marching in hard bottoms and church shoes and the 100-degree weather. It was just all bad. And I'm like, I couldn't imagine doing that back then and just getting back in my car, going home like, okay, we did what we had to do. It's fortunate that I don't believe anybody there went to the hospital from protesting and all that kind of stuff. But I can imagine back then when they was doing that, man, it makes you think, man. It makes you think that when you on the line for the cause, because then, they letting the German Shepherds out on you. They hitting you with that water hose. They beating you with the baton. And they just acting the ass on you. But fast forward up until now when we did it, it was more peaceful and it was more, organized as far because people had backpacks and water and they was, with their little Nikes on and their comfortable shoes. But the gesture was still there. And I was proud to be part of that. So, years later, me and my relative, we could look back and say, man, remember we was down there for the cause. And we was in it, not on the sideline, not on the rooftop. We was like there with the people. And you just felt that anger, and you felt like we need to be heard. You know what I mean? And that goes back to saying what you were saying about change. We got to get to voting to change these laws. Because yelling is really not going to do it. We came far with that now, but we still got a long way to go, right?
Yeah, we still got some room to go, but once all the amount of people that protested, peaceful protesters, those people need to be the same amount of people going to the polls. I vote. And then if you look at the prior episodes, you'll see why I'm adamant about voting. But yeah, I need to see that same amount when I go to the polls. I want to see that same amount of people that's protesting, register to vote, and an initiative comes together so they can vote.
Right.
And the initiative go from initiative, which means gathering the signatures, and then it turns into a proposition. But it costs funding for that because you have to pay the people to get they call professional signatures. People, they professionals that go out and get signatures for people to vote. So it needs some funding for the initiative. They draft up if someone drafts up the initiative. That's what it's called before it becomes a proposition. It's an initiative. And once it gets to say each initiative has a certain amount of signatures you need to gather for that law you're trying to get into law. It's not that bill before it becomes law. It has to have a certain amount.
After you vote on it, then
No. You still have to get the signatures.
Oh, the signatures come first.
Oh yeah, that's why I say it's an initiative first, and it has to have people who are professionals to get those signatures and make sure that they are qualified to vote. Because you can't have somebody that's on parole or probation signing the line.
What about ex-felons?
Ex-felons can vote. I'm telling you, I vote.
Oh, okay.
I've been voting since I've been,
because there's a lot of people that's out of
ignorance, don't know. I mean, I'm not nobody. I know where I can vote because I read and I look at the news, and I know I can vote now. When I was freed, I got my right to vote, and I exercised my right to vote on whatever the ballot. It's not just for the president, like you said with we had CC and them on and her husband. Mm-hmm. It's not just the president. There's different things you need to vote for. You need to vote for whatever bills in your local government. They have stuff. They voting for water, trash. They voting for graffiti. They voting for this. They voting for that. Numerous of things that they'll vote for besides just the president. And you got to really turn off the TV, turn off the radio, sit down, and comb through that stuff and find out what is what.
Right.
Do your research, and it takes if you sit down and look and with the process with the modern technology, you can Google some of these people up right quick and say, I don't like that, what they did in their past. If you're not that a person that knows history of politics. So a lot of people don't know the people they vote, what their career been in the past. Like what bills did they pass before? Was they against this? Was they against that? You just saying, who we voting for? We voting for the black man, or voting for the black lady, or the Asian lady, or the person with the red hair or bald head or one eye, whatever. You just
do your homework on.
Right. You gotta do your research on who you voting for and what their history is as being official. As far as part of the government, what they stand for. That's just like when you hang with homies. You know what I'm saying, or dudes or brothers that you hang out with that you didn't know what they stand for. You're not gonna be with somebody that don't push the same way you push.
Correct.
You know what I mean? True. So it's the same thing when you picking people to vote for. Like for our viewers that's on the line now, in California State, it's like they have people that speak for the convicts.
They do?
Yeah, they got a crew it's called a MAC Rep Committee. So you get a person from each ethnicity or each affiliation, and they got a secretary, and they take notes, and this is
it's serious.
Right, yeah, right. It's just like you got to understand political science.
Well, the first time that I got into really putting my eyes in the book and reading, trying to fight for my life, is when I went to prison, and that's when shit. Because I didn't have a lawyer. I had a PD for y'all as public defender, but you really on the line fighting for your life, because if you ain't gonna fight for you, and this pertains to what's going on now, if you ain't gonna fight for you, who will? Who are you gonna point? I'm gonna have this person fight for me, and then lay down at night and sleep comfortable knowing this person is doing what they supposed to do for you. Only person you can have 100% confidence in doing that is yourself. So that's why I said, you know what? I'm young. I think I was like 19 at the time, and I have to fight for, even though I knew what I did was, I did it, but still, I'm not going to let these cats railroad me. And that's kind of like the same what's going on now, because they say if you don't fight for yourself, we going to do you any kind of way.
Oh, yeah. I totally agree.
And then if you get into that acceptance mode, then after that, then you want to cry, why me? Well, you got to go back to the beginning. You got to start fighting for yourself. And at some point, all the violence and uproar is we heard that before. But now when you say, look, the same people that we out here protesting, we got hundreds and thousands of people across the United States in communities like ours, going down to those buildings, going down to those offices, then they're going to be like, oh, shit, we got something serious going on here.
Then I hear you. I agree with you, but this ain't the first time our people that march or people that march with our people.
Right.
But
see, now it comes all the way up until now. Things are moving. The chains are moving.
I agree with that. I'm not disagreeing. I'm only just bringing this into play for this purpose. It ain't just going down to the office. You need to stay on a bumper. You know what I mean by that? Means you need to stay agitating them, still up at their office. When they trying to run for re-election, you need to stay on them. You cannot let up. When they want you to come to buy a plate for $250 so you can fund their campaign, you need to be letting them know. We need these things done. You know what I mean? Or you
a demand list.
Yeah, you can say that priority list. That's how you got to stay on them, man. They don't make that bunch of money in those working those government spots. They make their best money when they get out of them spots, or they create businesses. Like, so if I had, say I had a son that worked for the city of, I don't know, any city, just a city.
Right.
And he said, look, we got a contract for paving walkways. I'm thinking, well, they're giving us, we fighting for a contract for, $37 million. What? I'm finna go I'm finna find out about cement, go create me a company, I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna low bid everybody out, and the bread come this way.
Oh, it's kind of like the big game.
Yeah, that's what I say. You understand political science, man. It's a mecca. It's going on. So that's why I believe they make most of their money from. They don't make it from the job itself. It's about the connections they make.
Well,
that's why they got people called lobbyists. Mm-hmm. And with a lobbyist is a person that's the homie that come in. Usually, it's the homie that come in, sit down and among everybody and hang out and hear what's going on and got some bread and know some people and go back to the company and say, man, we can get this done. Da, da, da. And he come back and tell them, look, man, I hollered at the people from, French Fry Capital, and they said this and that. And here's a check. They going to give me this check. Okay, I'm going to hold that money and take care of my boy when he get out of office. He can't get the money while in office.
Oh, yeah.
When he get out of office, or you can donate to the campaign. That's why you hear a lot of talking about, when people say, why didn't take that check? Because where the money coming from, they following where the money coming from.
Oh, yeah, the paper route.
Well, exactly. They finding where that money comes from. So that's where they get their bread from.
You have a lot of people now who's new to this. You have some people who just started this, and unfortunately, this happened. So how do they bounce back? The small business owners, the communities, how do they bounce back from this? Because this is serious to us, man.
Well, I'm not no financial expert, but they're gonna have to tighten their belt up, man, and do a lot of praying and a lot of muscle. And putting their hustle. They're gonna have to find for them PPEs they got. You're gonna have to get to the bank. You're gonna have to do more than you normally did prior to this. So if you don't get it, I think you might have to check all your resources. Find some people that. If you go to a church or synagogue or mosque, you might have some people that work in here that probably can assist you with that, or go to legal assistance. Google up and find your lawyer or find your financial people and see if you can find somebody that can assist you with trying to get these loans. Most of these people that's connected or done they stuff right, they have already contacted some of these people. Then some people just naive to the game that's in business, so they need to make those steps. We need to have a financial advisor come in and explain to us about the resources available for those people that are small businesses.
I think the problem is, too, maybe it's a trust issue.
Trust issue with who?
we as a community, we don't trust nobody to have our back because we've been shitted on, ran over on for so long. It's like, who do we trust? That's the problem. We have to try to build trust with somebody, but for us, not just us as blacks. I mean, Latinos, people who are under
Poverty.
yeah.
Yeah.
The trust factor ain't there because like you say, you can go vote, but do you still do we believe you? It's like buying into the system. It's like football, or basketball. Your coach is telling you this: if you don't buy into the system, I'm not going to play well for you, and next year I'm gonna be gone. So what do we do as we getting back into the swing of things? Everything is pretty much simmering down with the riot and the protest and everything. People are ready to get back to their normal business and going back to the communities, but we going back to what? The same thing from last month. What we going back to?
Yeah. Let me address the vote. Why we brought voting up? Create the initiative, and the initiative is to prosecute law enforcement when they murder innocent handcuffed people. I'm saying create an initiative to turn into a proposition, to turn into a law, that where the person that does that and the people that's there that don't stop it, that's working, and then also in the courthouse and the prosecutor, them two should be prosecuted themselves if they murder a handcuffed person or a person that without no weapon, just flat out murder, slaughter.
On the same level as a non-law.
Well, something. If somebody got a weapon, that's a different thing. I don't want to get into that. I'm only addressing the issue about a person that does not have a weapon, that's handcuffed, and you murder them. That's one thing I'm talking about right now.
Right. Okay.
So if you do that, you need to be convicted. Because if we did it, you know what that's gonna happen to us.
Oh yeah, we're gonna be cuffed and stuff.
So it depends on the circumstances of how it went down. You know what I mean? I'm just talking about we was working and we murdered somebody handcuffed. Somebody was handcuffed and we murdered them. We're going to jail for that.
Yeah, plus some.
Yeah, so I'm just saying that they need to be prosecuted for that. And that create a law for that for them and the prosecutor. As far as the prosecutor not not convicting them, charging them up with charges. So it has to go inside the courthouse as well as in the streets. Create that bill, put that, make that go into law. Then also hit them financially.
Like
financial means
happened?
those hit them financially. The prosecutor and the street cops.
So is that kind of relating to now they got something to defunding the police department? Is that kind of the path that they're going on?
Yeah, I don't think that's gonna help them. I think the part defunding. I mean, not having so many cops. That's what you mean. Say defunding means that you're not gonna pay the cops what their normal salary or something, or not hiring any more cops. Or
I think they mean giving them a bigger budget. Now they budget.
No, you say defunding. Defunding means to decrease.
Okay, so how does that work?
I don't know. I don't work for.
How is that going to help? I mean, how is that helping? Do you see it helping or hindering?
If they taking money from the police department, or the police department, depends where they taking that money from. So if they say the city controller, city manager, who controls the bag meaning the money, the bread. So if they say, well, we usually normally give this police department or sheriff department $300 million. That's their normal budget, $300 million for 6 months. Instead of doing that, we're going to take $100 million of that and put it in the community. We're going to put it in the urban community by creating programs for black kids, black men, black people, something, or Latin people or something like that. I can see them taking the money and bringing it down into the community and either hiring the same people that live in that community to police their own community, meaning that you get somebody out of the hood that don't have a record to work the same neighborhood. If I'm correct, on the East Coast, a lot of those cops live in the same area. They grew up in them areas. So why would you not want a cop or policeman or woman that's from where you grew up? Matter of fact, I got an incident I'll tell you off air that somebody grew up in your city and became a lieutenant for the Compton PD, a female. Yeah, I'm gonna tell you a real story. He might know who it is. You know, but I'm gonna tell you that. But you won't want somebody out your community.
You think that'll work?
Yeah, you gotta know the people. You gotta know if you, listen, you're gonna talk different to these people. You're not gonna come up to them and just be like, be afraid of them. You're gonna know, they go to my church. Oh damn, what's that? How you doing?
But see, now are you being biased because I know him, so I'm gonna handle him a little different
Listen,
than
man,
I would for somebody I didn't know? Because that's what's gonna come up next if that start happening.
It's already happened for the other races. So it don't mean like, well, you want to get different when it comes to the black folks. Yeah, you're going to know some people, you might treat them a little bit different. If you look at all the video that you've seen that's been placed on the internet that you led to be real, where cops pulled over certain people and tell them, look, like one I saw, this footage, where a cop had a lady pulled over and she was scared to death, and he makes a remark of, we only killing black people.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, if you look at the internet, there's this video. Now, I don't know if that was actual true footage or not, but I was led to believe it was, and that's what he says to the lady. I was like, well, I tell you one thing, technology is a blessing and a curse. It's catching stuff and people are recording things now more than ever. So now you see, like again I say, now you see the act of the boogeyman. You see what he looked like. Yep. You know, now you're like, damn, that's different. Yeah, that's how that went down. If you look at those door ringer cameras they got now on the doors, you see it, those who got that app that, I'm not going to promote their stuff unless they want to run advertisement on the Digital Soap Bar Network, on the line and or on the network for the other shows that we have. Yeah, ring, holla at the boss. Come down here and we like to advertise the Ring doorbell, but they had those cameras on there. There's other ones as well, but I just brought that one up that sees a lot of people getting their cars broke into. You can tap the app on, look and see, well, I can see who coming. I can see them breaking in my car. You know what I mean? You had that footage now.
Right. Just like that shit they wear.
Oh, yeah, the cameras, body cams on the cops. So I'm saying that to say that a lot of more things are being more recorded now than ever, and it's put on the internet, like this show. We had an opportunity to have this format and put on the internet where somebody could click. You Googled up Digital Soap Bar Network, like all the shows that's on the network, and we want to be one of the shows on the network, or they can go to YouTube and pull it down, or they can go to Apple Music, whatever it is, they got the podcast show on there. They can hear the audio version, or Spotify, you know what I mean? So a lot of things are more accessible now than once before. So now we get this, a lot of people more get to see it. It travels quicker. The rumor goes faster. Like you said something about down south when they had those the riots back then, how they had to endure through all that stuff.
Yeah.
As I'm listening to you talk, I'm thinking about my dad. God bless his soul, rest in peace. He's out the country. My uncles from my dad's side, they're all from the South. And I remember one thing that that my dad was part of. I think it was Mobile. When they had the march. The march to Mobile. That he stopped. He had a hit. He got hit in the head, whatever. And it went down. They got to scrapping with him. You know what I mean? Some folks lost their lives probably, or some injuries took place. You know what I mean? So
it did.
Yeah, and the repercussion for that. So that was like some real stuff going on back down in the South. So I'm just saying today, it wasn't just black people marching.
No.
There was other races marching with the black folks. So marching is one step. The same people that march and protest, but the same people go to the polls when the initiative is created to change the law. So they issue some, I can't use the correct term, about the chokehold and this and that. Right, so okay, that ain't law. That's like just local. We need to go law in the law books, the state and federal. If you do this and you work for you're a prosecutor or you're a cop and you do these things right here, you will be prosecuted like a street criminal.
But see,
they need that to be a blanket law, not just a mayor or saying, well, I'm going to talk to my guys and tell them, don't do that.
Now you saying get people from the neighborhood to police the neighborhood.
Yes.
Now we figuring these cops that's doing this to us, you run a background check like, damn, man, you got 5-6 cases of doing this and nobody said nothing. So my question to you is when they decide to do that, to get people from the neighborhood to police the neighborhood, how do you go by choosing, because you can't, choose somebody like me.
Nah. Well, a person like you, I don't think we'll be.
I'm just.
That's what we're not going to be doing.
That's what I'm saying.
But we saying that we can have some, kids that everybody out the hood don't got a record.
True that.
Okay.
True.
And that's the ones we're going to target those. You can go through the churches. You can go through the schools, just like the Navy. Not the Navy, but the military. They do their recruiting. See, I was in ROTC, and so how they used to pull up. They used to go to junior high schools, and I was in this program called NJROTC. So the guys and girls that was in the military, they come up. They're called recruiters, and they come up and they come to recruit. So what they would come up to the school and be like, yeah, would you like to do this? Would you like to go to college? Would you like to do this? Da. So yeah, be like, oh yeah. They'll come in and they'll start lacing the game about the military, what you can do, what the options you have, how you can live, how you can travel across the world. So that'd be the same way where we as older brothers from cities we're from, our job should be that we'll go and talk to the young kids, like tell them, look, man, you ain't got no record, man. You need to go over here. You know what I mean? You need to you need to go try this, check this out. Go work for the police department. Go work become a mayor. Go work to become a city, work for the city or something. Or show them different ways of doing stuff. You know what I mean? Someone could be. It's funny when you say we'll work for the cops. Well, I'm saying to you that somebody got to come out of our own neighborhood to police us, man. And sometimes I think it might be better to have somebody. It's tricky with them because it could be somebody that hates you all along through high school. Now he got a job.
That's what I'm saying.
But you know what I mean? Then again, it's a gamble that you have to take that they know you be like, nah, man, I ain't for the trip on dude. You ain't for the trip on what's up, man? Hey, look, man, they might cut you that pass, man. They might not. I believe they'll do their job, but it's not about that. We just saying we need to try that and see how that do. Instead of what they've been doing because it's broke. You see where we at today? Yeah. It's broke. It ain't working. So we're not going to get on the debate about, don't hire nobody. No, we need to get some of our younger brothers and sisters in these positions, man. You know what I mean? I know it's like a little clan because we got somebody. I know somebody, they know that's a firefighter. You're a brother. I know a couple people that are law enforcement. They're black. You know what I mean?
But are they from the city they policing?
I think one of them is.
So if that goes into effect, of course, it's not going to be, a blanket effect. They'll start here and then seeing how that works. It's like a trial system. So you think that'll
help more than I think it should help more than what it is today, because if somebody got a Jones for you, in that law enforcement field, man, you.
Oh, I know.
Yeah, it ain't gonna be pretty, baby. It's gonna be something. It's gonna be, you know what I mean? It's gonna be a shitty deal how it go down.
And
so,
like you said, they can have an attitude or didn't like you from high school or whatever the case may be, but that's kind of a long shot. That's a long shot.
Well, like I say, yeah, I believe you might have those cases in different cities and different states, but we're not worried about. They know things can happen, so we're going to think only about trying that process, because the system is broke, and so let's utilize with that and see how that turn out. I mean, I got somebody I know, maybe one day we have him on the show, that worked for a school in my city, and he became like staff assistant. To us, that was like the police, man. He catches dip, doing stuff. He know where the spot's at, all that, but he didn't press us like that. You know what I mean?
Because he once was you.
You understand where I come from? He pressed us in a different form, but not the way, you know what I mean? So he cut us some slack, and we're glad he did do that, because now we gained favor with him. And we was able to, you're going to put that there, don't do that, because he right there. A deterrent. He became a deterrent to doing stuff. And he grew up right there in the city.
And he pretty much know everything that
everybody, and you know what I mean. So that in itself is a good move to step into to change the things that have been going on now. That would be a great gem to use in keeping black men like that. That guy could have been us.
Yeah.
George Floyd, the other brother from the jogger, can't think of his name.
Ahmaud Arbery.
There you go. He could have been, and all the other ones that lost their life in your city and my city.
And the people that been through that hasn't been on the front page of videotape that we never even heard of.
This is
Because this
deep.
This is on a national level, but you know, we both know
worldwide, national, just the
we
states.
both know stuff that's been done to us. Going up in the hood, beating you up, dropping you off in the wrong neighborhood, planting dope on you, making you strip on the fucking police car, looking in your ass for dope and all kind of shit, man. This shit really happened in the neighborhood. So you know, we had cops like that, and they knew you by first name. Hey, come over here. What you got?
Yeah,
so, but that type of behavior been going on. Nobody just shed the light on that was going on in our area.
I got you, but we're talking about innocent folks. We're talking about when people was out there in the streets doing their dirt. We're talking about just innocent, unarmed folks. That's the only thing we're addressing.
Right.
We're only addressing that, the unarmed.
But it's kind of the same thing, though.
Nah, because you out there, that's part of the game when you're out there in the streets.
Right, but it's also part of the game. It's also part of the game if you know.
I'm talking about when you're out there and you're involved in illegal activity.
Right. I know exactly
that's what I'm talking about. I'm just making sure that
if I'm out there doing wrong, there's still a system that you're supposed to go by to apprehend me and to search me.
As a professional?
You're not allowed to strip me in the back of the police car. What the fuck is that? You can't do that. I don't give a fuck if I got 20 keys in my ass. You can't strip me in the fucking police car and do that.
Man, I got to start laughing. You ain't gonna have 20 keys.
I'm just saying. And those out there that's from the hood, no matter what city you in, y'all know the shit like that used to go on, probably still going on. But I know in Compton, that shit used to go on. You cannot beat me up and drop me off in the enemy hood. Take me to the fucking station. The shit like that happens.
Yeah, it went down like that.
So
it happened like that in the county jail.
Okay, so that's what I'm saying.
You in the tank with a bunch of
no matter what I'm doing, there's still a process you got to go through to apprehend me, and I'm guarantee you that's not it.
Yeah.
I know that ain't it. Wait, you man, hold on. I know this city. I know where the police station is.
There's a violation for real.
Why are you fucking turning left? The police station back that way. You taking me down to a dark alley and fucking work me over? Come on, I know the part of the game.
Yeah,
So this is the stuff, unfortunately, that don't get to hit the cameras and the screen and social media and shit like that. But we know that shit goes on and have been going on for years.
Right. Once again, we're gonna just deal with the unarmed man being murdered thing, black man being murdered.
Okay.
Right on. That's another day, another show. We're gonna just stick on dealing with the innocent killing
I hear you,
black
man.
man.
I follow you.
All right, yeah, I got you. But I'm just with just all this praying and marching, and you don't get no law in place to where they could be prosecuted for these things, and this is nothing, dog. That's all this go to waste because they let it cool down, run the play. Next time they won't shoot rubber bullets, they probably start dumping real bullets and killing the innocent folks. That shit could have been ugly, bro.
Yeah.
Oof.
Yeah.
Man, that could be ugly.
In some places, it
was ugly. Yeah, folks running over folks, man. It's
all
real.
It takes is one person. I go back to prison riots, man. That shit, you everywhere. You don't know who to trust. Everybody's running which your way. You don't know if they helping you or trying to hurt you.
Yeah. You're right. Yeah. Because when you working, you doing your job, man. You trying to focus with the enemy. I smoke. Yeah, it's a daunting task, man, to maneuver. That's what I felt like when me and Woody Mammoth was out there that night on Melrose. That was I don't know how the homie felt. But to me, it reminded me of being on the prison yard doing a ride. I just didn't have to do all that ducking. You know what I mean? Because when you're out there trying to get your man and then shooting, seeing the California State Prison, they dumping with a Mini 14. They ain't doing. They got the little the 246 wooden baton rounds like chunks of broom like this flying at you. They can hurt you. It can't kill you, but it can hurt you. But I think I take a bruise or take an eye loss or lose some of my ear, whatever, to supposed to get hit with that Mini on the yard and get my whole back knocked off.
It happens,
so,
man.
you know what I mean? So, yeah.
Where I was, they just lock you wherever you are. If you're on the weight pile, you in the library, you in your cell, they lock you in wherever you are. Mm-hmm. Chow hall, you locked in until further notice. And just like here with the riots, it's kind of We don't have a.
You talking about rides on the pen or rides
It
on the
rides
street?
on the street. It's not.
No.
It's not relevant to what we do in the pen because it's old.
No, I was just,
shit,
I was just,
but,
I was just
you
saying that it reminded me, as far as the smoke,
Oh,
the
yeah,
guys
uh-huh.
with the protectors and all that stuff
yeah.
on, the GI Joe kit on. That's what it reminded me of. But it was like a lighter version. It was smoke. It was pop. It was bang. It was just a trip, like we was moving around in the movie. But we watching, we hearing, we looking, we checking out stuff. I'm just saying that's what the ride.
It's
That remind me of some of a prison ride. But
shit.
yeah, it was, for that man, that shit was crazy.
Yeah.
That was I missed the 92 rides. I was locked up. So
I wasn't.
the only rides I've been in was prison yard rides. But as far as a street ride, that was my first time, and I was there. That was something different. That was like I was on a movie set, but it wasn't no movie set. It was real. It was surreal. That's the word I want to use. It was surreal.
But
You feel me?
now everything is simmering down. As we say, what's our next play? As
That's
as
the
our
next.
people.
The next play is to create the initiative, and far as those individuals involved, you prosecute them. You know what I mean? That's what that is for all those involved in those cases, those
Right.
type of cases in different states, and even for different countries. We're not the only blacks. There's blacks in Europe, France. You know what I mean? So on so on. So they need to prosecute them. Also, create the law, pass it federal and state. That, like I said before, if you kill an unarmed man or unarmed black man for no reason, that's cuffed up, you will be prosecuted like you did with Timmy McVeigh or the Unabomber. Yeah, that's going to the yard.
Going to the yard.
Feel me? So yeah, that's
Hard roll too.
yeah. I use them because how I use them. I don't know. I just came up with them, but you need that. You know what I mean? So get that put in play, and then I think that, and financially also, financially, if you're involved in this, you go, they're gonna hit your pockets. Come on. That's what they do when you speeding around a red light. They hit them pockets.
You ain't lying.
He'd be like, man, hold on, I ain't for running that light. And every time I had to pay $600, you run that deterrence in there to hold up. You know what I mean? If I pay a bill late, they got late fees. That shit start adding up.
Well, see now.
So just hit that pocket, the financial,
But
that
now-
401k,
Now we
life
gotta think
insurance
about,
money,
We got to think about
bill
the
money.
different variations of ages now, because remember what we said, the Watts riots, and before that, the people who were standing up marching, these were a little, older. Now this riot is a lot of youngsters out there.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of youngsters out there who just think we gonna tear this motherfucker up. Now, what do we have to say about that? Because now they're not thinking like you and I. If we was out there, you know what? We need to go here. We gotta have somebody that'll stand up and say, "Look, this is what we need to do. We need to go down here to this building. We need to go down here to these offices, these police stations." But the youngsters ain't thinking like that.
Okay. Let me know when I can say something.
Matt, you got the mic?
And so we're gonna mix this whole massive mess that took place, atrocity did to the country. It was like a concoction dealing with the virus. Now we're dealing with the killings, which we always had that already on plate.
That was always
On
there.
the plate, but you brought the virus in and you mixed that together. You got two different entities clashing together, and then you got an explosion, right?
Right.
So you worried about the youngsters. You gotta get them some jobs. You gotta get them some money in their pocket. You know what I mean? You got to make programs where they employ them. Give them, they need to be able to employ. They got to put money. They got to get jobs. They need to work. They need to purchase property. They need to purchase buy their homes. They need to buy their businesses. You know what I mean? Buy their places to conduct business. And you got to also think now, a lot of things, the script that they had from back then has changed. When I'm going to use that, I'm using this as an illustration. Like Radio Shack. Remember when they was popping?
Yeah, I
they was
remember
jerking.
that. Yeah.
Right? Radio Shack was the spot.
Yeah. And Circus City.
Oh, okay. Circuit City popping, right?
Uh-huh.
They gone now, though.
Gone.
You know
Ain't
why?
coming back.
You know why? Because they didn't adjust with they didn't adjust with time. Had Radio Shack would have had came on when they first had was that Bill Gates? Not Bill Gates, excuse me.
Steve Jobs?
The vice president that created the internet. Yeah, Gore. When he created the internet. If Radio Shack would say, oh, we got the internet, which they probably had that round table, they'd got them a website and created them a website and sold their stuff on before everybody else done, they still be in business.
Okay.
That's my theory.
I hear you.
They didn't adjust. They were still running they was running off a script that was put in place probably in the 70s.
Okay.
And they was running in the 90s and 2000s and it just didn't work out. So you got to do some amending and adjusting with your script. You can't just stick with that same script you've been using all that time.
So you
because times have changed.
You're implementing this in what part of what's going on now?
Right. As far as the people that's sitting in these council meetings, the people that's in politics, people that's in religion, that has became, set in their ways, and they need to adjust. Some just don't want to give.
Well, that's what a lot of people. I'm setting my motherfucking way. Some
yeah,
things
but some
I don't
things
change on.
you have a lot of people have a problem with change. Period.
I do.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm talking about this kind of changes where the things that you gotta review and look back and say, how are they doing this? Why we ain't doing this like we used to? You gotta look at the whole pie and figure out how can you fix that problem instead of saying shit, fuck it, running like we've been doing. You know what I mean? You can't do that. If you can, but you're gonna destroy yourself. That's why I'm just using this business and life.
Uh-huh.
You got where I'm coming from? Now, I'm going to say this. You when we was growing up, man, mom beat the shit out of nigga ass. Beep, bop, boop, bop, pop, beep, bop, bop. Go on, take them licks. Go on, lay it out. Heal up, go on back to school. Like, you know what I mean? I got boot back by my daddy. My mom karate chopped me a couple times, roundhouse me. So, you can't do that now. You can do that now, but it's a little bit different. Oh yeah, it's different. I was just using that as another illustration. So you have to adjust. You have to adjust with time. Instead of slapping them, knocking them out, you might have to talk them. Show them the steps of why you should not be karate chopping them.
So what's going on now with the youngsters running everything? You think they running off an old script or a new script?
There are, from my opinion, they're not satisfied with the script that the old heads got. They're not.
Okay, us as old heads, do we change it for them or let them change it themselves?
No, you listen to what they got to say.
Of course.
And then you go back and assess what they said, and you amend it.
Because
amending means change.
Yes, all they know is violence.
Who's they?
The youngsters.
I don't know.
Because they upset.
Yeah, but I don't think they know what violence is
but
like
then
that.
You now what's coming into play that wasn't in the play before is females. They on the front line tearing shit up. They on the front line making their voice being heard. They on the front line saying, look, this is, you know what I'm saying?
Well, that's been happening for females, right?
I'm just saying.
A lot of females have created wars.
Yes, exactly.
so
that
now, ain't nothing new.
So now they got a voice. They got a voice now. And it's loud as a fucking lion's roar.
In our generation, they been at a voice.
But nobody was listening.
I know I was to some of them.
Nobody was listening, man.
Okay.
I wasn't listening. You wasn't listening.
No, I was listening.
Nobody was listening.
Listening is one thing. Now applying.
You heard them, but you didn't listen.
Yeah, I didn't apply what they said.
Right, but now, they word, as the New Yorkers say, word is bond. They have something to say, and you gotta listen. So they was out there too on the front line, not behind, not on the side. When we was down there, they was with the shit.
Yeah, I went with you on that day, but there was a day I was out and I seen.
Yes.
There was women out there on the line.
Now we got mad dudes and we got upset women mixed together. what the fuck, man? How do we take that energy and say, you know what, this is cool, but now we gonna run it this way?
Once again, you got to have that. You're gonna have to politic the situation. What you mean by that, politic the situation? Meaning that each small group of people. They say this. You're the product. I heard this. You're the product of the 7 people that you hang out with all the time.
Okay, well, if you hang out with
Well,
700 people.
No, we only talking about the 7 ones that you call on your phone all the time that you dog with. That be family or friends. You the product of them. So when I mean by, and I'm saying that to say this. So you got a group of 7 here, 7 here, 7 here. You start like that in small groups. And they'll talk among themselves. And then they have their friends. And then their friends will have their friends. And then their friends will have their friends. And see how it spreads. It's like, it's like a fire.
Yep.
So each small circle of people you start with, you get these 7 youngsters. You get these 7 youngsters here. I get 7 youngsters. He gets 7. He gets 7. She gets 7. You know what I mean? And you politic. That's what you're doing. You politicking. Okay. You trying to captivate their brain. You trying to manipulate them to bite into your scheme of things. That's the same thing like a coach.
Right. That's what I said.
Okay, you know what I mean? So you want the coach. You want them to bite into your scheme. That's a football term. I'm talking sport.
Right.
A coach.
I got you.
You know what I mean? Once they know what's going on, and then so they'll go out to others and pass the word. They'll spread.
But see, one
So
thing you gotta realize, people won't agree unless it's beneficial to them. If they don't see no gain out of it, it's like, why the fuck I'm doing this?
What gain is because the gain is to keep people alive, keeping your uncle, keeping your cousin, your nephew, your child alive.
So you gotta have a certain agenda.
That's what we're talking about.
Okay.
We're talking about creating a law that will prosecute the law for breaking the law, for murdering innocent black men.
And women.
Yeah, correct.
And women.
Right, black people. Let's use black people. And prosecute, put them in a cell. And financially attack them as well. That's what we're talking about. Once again, we stay focused on what we're going on, and that's what we're going on. And you said the young folks, we got to get those young folks together. We don't have to. You can know your nephews or nieces or your little cousins or whatever. You can pull them in and talk to them. Then you can talk to some of the homies that you know. You know what I mean? And pass it on. They'll go to, well, I talked to Whoop the Whoop. He said this. It'll pass on. Word of mouth is vicious. We had word of mouth before we had these phones.
True.
You got where I'm coming from?
I agree.
So I know growing up where I'm from, out the city I'm out of, if something can happen on the east side, shoot, by time dark time, that mug went all the way up to the north side.
That is true.
And it bounced on the west side and everything. Everybody knows.
So now the platform is even bigger than what it was. Now that we have the phones, we have the social media, and also too, people have been using that when they have a video of something that didn't have light shed on it, somebody getting beat or done wrong, they hair up and send that out. This is what else is going on. So that's been good. Speaking of what you was talking about.
What, the reform?
Yes, and letting people police themselves from the same neighborhood and what have you and all that. You know that Minnesota just disbanded, Minneapolis disbanded a police force. And looking for a new way of public safety. Yes or no? You agree with that?
Yeah, I'm undecided about that. I got to do more research on what they mean by disband.
Shit.
In my mind, disband means
pull the plug on them.
There ain't gonna be no cops.
Nope. Disband, yeah. So
you know what I mean? You gotta watch the media before we just jump on the bandwagon and say, "Oh yeah, I'm with that." No, I ain't with that. Let's see what they mean. They look at the wording of that whole.
It's gonna play out. They definitely gonna show how they're going to move. Also, too, I agree with you because we're not from Minneapolis, so we can't really get the full 411 about it. But as it comes through the airwaves,
so, I don't know how. Yeah, that's gonna be. Yeah, well, I don't know if they're gonna still. What's the firearm laws there? They're gonna be able to. People gonna be able to bear arms. That's the U.S. Constitution, so they should still be able to bear arms. You're gonna need something to protect your family.
Yeah, but I mean, as I guess
back to the cowboy days.
This is first for them, so they still working out all the details and kinks and.
Yeah, we'll elaborate further in the other shows, but far as right now, I mean, if you got, they're gonna go back to the cowboy law, and I mean by that I'm talking about, you're able to bear arms wherever you go, and then be able to protect yourself and protect your family if the shit get funky. That's
shit. They do. I think it's like that in Texas. Am I right? I'm not
I
too
don't know.
sure, but
Well,
I think something
I
like
don't know all the laws in each of the states. We some California kids, you know what I'm saying? But I know different states got different kind of laws.
right.
So
yeah.
like those, like I know Nevada. I said Nevada, New Mexico, probably Texas. You know what I mean? Those are cowboy states.
well,
yeah,
ain't no
Oklahoma.
Cowboy State, but I think
Well, I'm saying cowboy states that they still
Right.
they still never carry their pistols
shit,
with them.
people here in
Or
California,
assault
they
weapons.
still gonna carry.
I mean, they
whether
gonna care,
can
but I'm
or
talking
not.
about where you can see it. Like I ain't trying to tuck it. I'm this is what's
Yeah.
happening.
Yeah.
It's on the rack of my
It's
truck.
Not, it's not concealed.
Yeah, right. Out here is different. There's like, I got this AR. Yeah, what's happening? You know, they drive and they swerve. You know, so I'm saying to, if they're able to still be able to still bear arms, and I don't know, it's gonna be something different. I just like that's the
Yeah,
first
a lot of shit is gonna come differently now that we tapering down and it's a worldwide, situation going on. So you just have to keep your eyes open and listen and find out what's going on and read. You have to read.
Yeah,
But you can't believe everything you read. You
There
have
you go.
to take it and dissect it yourself. So when you do that, then you can come up with your own assumption of how you think things are instead of letting somebody kind of coach you into what they want you to believe.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta watch. Being manipulated.
Because too much information is not good.
Yeah, I'm gonna say some. You remember the stuff I shot you when he was talking about the Sandy Hook and
Yeah.
that stuff? I don't wanna. But that was a trip, wasn't it? And we're talking about. And I'm talking about. I ran across some stuff dealing with state. Wasn't not. It was.
Stage actors.
Tactical actors or something like that. They were showing some stuff, and they were showing using that officer.
Oh,
that was involved.
that guy.
That guy, and he was in other stuff involved. One would be the Sandy Hook, elementary situation that went on, the murdering. He was a part of that. They showed his face
Shit.
somewhere else in a different state. I don't know if that was the same state or a different state.
Oh yeah, that's some heavy shit, man.
So then they had this woman. There's a woman that came up and said, did say some things, and she's supposed to know that officer and the brother George Floyd, and she had been in some other stuff too before, another massive murder type thing that went on. I think she was part of the Sandy Hook too. So it was kind of like, now you over here doing this. Maybe you think of the art of manipulation. Now, I don't want to get off it because we taking away from this to go to that. I was only bringing that up to say, far as we used to call, there was a term we called the TV, the idiot box.
Yeah, I remember that.
You know what I mean? You know what I'm talking
the
about?
idiot box,
Yeah, so the idiot box, you have to not believe everything you see on TV. You have to go back and write. The same thing with the internet. You got to pick and choose what you hear and what you read and what you see, because you can be manipulated. You can. I'm through so focused on what they said on TV and what's on the internet. Everything on the internet ain't true.
Nope.
It's not. And I'm not. So you got to just. That's where the trick play come in at right there. Basing your research on what's on the internet. You know how they edit it, how they make noise and put colors on it. They can make it look good.
Well, it's about who runs it.
That too. It go back to the person operating it. And also, I'm glad you brought that up. There's a thing I seen about. I don't want to. It was dealing with the Black Lives,
BLM.
where there was another organization. I can't even think of the name. If I did, I don't want to give them the credit. A different country was wiring money to some black folks that created they created a business and had used that money to create up a place, a business, and they was getting paid to run around and say stuff.
Oh, it's like, man, this whole thing.
No, this is real. This happened several years ago. I got to remember where I found it, saw that, and I was like, wow. So there's a different country coming in the United States, and they cash apping, and you know what I'm saying? They wire money grabbing Western Union money and say this is money to do this and do that. And they was out there, somebody else was funding this operation. And right now, when you got a lot of broke folks in the ghetto and you got somebody saying, look, you on my team. I'm gonna make sure you got money. I'm gonna pay for your place to live. I'm gonna give you a salary. So you taking money, thinking everything legit, but you don't know where that money coming from.
Most people don't ask.
Yeah, right now they need that bread.
Most people don't ask. I don't ask.
Listen, that's why I said, that's what them. Slide right on in, like it's good.
Well, if you
that's the manipulation.
Deep enough, you gonna find something murky, fishy, faulty with a lot of shit that's going on.
So that's what I go back to. You gotta kind of like watch what you see on the internet, what you hear on the TV. Because you could get caught, especially you ain't got no life, or you just thinking they shouldn't be putting on TV if it ain't true.
You gotta watch what people tell you too, because
I got that. It's all manipulation. Hey, listen. It's politics in everything we do. You know what I mean? What I mean by that? There's politics in sports, high school, Cub Scouts, Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts, church,
life,
work, hood shit. You know what I mean? Uh-huh. There's politics in all this stuff. You know, where those people, especially, is real dominant in the workforce. You got where I'm coming from?
Yeah.
When you got somebody at work, everybody in them little cubicles with their laptops and computers, and, you know what I mean, you at the water phone at the microwave, they politicking about who food stank or who didn't bring no food or what, you know what I mean? You get that chatter. You know what I mean? They politicking for spots at work, and, you know what I mean? Politics is in everything you do, man. If you want to believe it, it is. Just think about what I'm saying to you when you go to work.
Nobody's safe.
You know what I mean? When you go to work and they politicking about why you can't sit here, why you coming in this way, why you going this way, you think they politicking your ass at work or at church.
It goes all the way down to a fucking parking spot.
All that factors in. That's all politics. You understand where I'm coming from? So, hey, you got to watch what you hear, watch what you see, and watch what you read. You got to use some common sense in there or get around some people with some common sense because you could be totally misled. You got where I'm coming from? That's the difference between the truth. The truth is what you can get people to believe in.
Say that. Yep.
The truth is what you can get people to believe in. The real is what it actually is. So if you can get people to bite into this, to whatever you got going on, and we're talking about them, we're talking about right now, I'm talking about giving a bite into getting people from the community to police their own community. That's what I would like to see them do. Get that shot. Try that out.
I don't know, man.
Well, listen, you ain't got you got a better solution than to throw it on the table. There you go.
At this moment, no.
Okay. So right now, while we airing this show, this is what I'm pressing. I'm politicking.
So you all for that?
Yeah, I'm politicking that right now. That's what I'm doing. I'm trying to get you to bite into what I believe. You ain't. I got to put the chokehold on you. I got to do what I do. Got to get you.
No, I ain't going for no chokehold. I'm holding court in the streets.
Okay, then we got. But look, we
I don't know. I don't know, man. Maybe I need to sleep on it and kind of dissect it and see.
But you're not agreeing with it. But you don't have another solution.
I do not at this moment. No.
Okay. So right now we pressing this for the day.
Okay, well, there you have it. He's down for it. So, you know what, man? Thank you guys once again for tuning in.
BDD all folks, that's it.
Digital Soapbox Network. I'm Junior, a.k.a. Getting It Done. Always into something. That's my co-host, who?
JJ Famby.
Right on, we out.
Every day on the line. Every day on the line. Every day Digital Soapbox. Every day on the line. I remain every day on the line. Well, every day on the line.